Okay, so I wanted to do a little introduction, a little secondary introduction about the actual keyword cards that come with the deck. And they all include, along with the keywords, they also include each word's grammatical tense. And the reason for this is sort of a nod to how we traditionally read Lenormand. I'm a really huge fan of the Lenormand card reading system in the way that you sort of use words to build out a sentence. So my thought process behind the keywords in the Pensive Path were sort of with that idea in mind, that we can, let's say, do a 3-card spread, and then we can use these keywords in order to build out, a sentence or a reading. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little sample reading, and we're going to use the keywords in order to build out the sentence for that reading. Okay, so here's our 3-card reading, and you'll notice that first card, second card, third card. And then you'll notice over here that this tower card is actually at the bottom of the deck. And the reason for this kind of 4th card is because when I read, I always flip over the bottom of the deck and I see which card comes in that position. And the reason that I read the bottom card of the deck is because I always think of that as sort of like an underlying energy, or maybe it's something subconscious, or if you're reading for somebody else, it could be the thing that they are not telling you. That's kind of how I read the bottom of the deck. I don't know if anybody else does this, but I started doing this years ago, just kind of on my own. I see every so often people do it, but I don't know that it's hugely popular, but I find that for me, it really adds an extra layer to every reading. So if I wanted to use the keywords to figure out what this bottom card is, I'm going to turn it over here. And actually, I'm just going to switch cameras. Okay. So if I wanted to figure out this tower card, so the keywords for the tower are upheaval, detach or detachment, and disrupt or disruption. So I'm going to keep that in mind when I kind of go through. And then I'm going to find my cups keyword card here. And here we have the 6 of cups, which is appreciate, forgive or forgiveness, or recall or recollect. And then actually the next card is 7 of cups, and that is distract, distraction, confuse, confusion, or curiosity. And then I'm actually going to go back to this card because the next card is the lovers, and it says, duality, choices, or mirroring. Okay, so if I kind of use these keywords to sort of make up a sentence or a reading, I'm going to go back over here to this tower card. And since the underlying issue is, I'm going to use the word detach or detachment, maybe it's telling me that I need to detach from my current way of thinking or the current way that I am viewing the situation. It's something that I don't see right now, but maybe I'll see it throughout the day, or maybe I'll have a conversation with somebody, and that will, sort of shed light on why this tower card here showed up at the bottom. And if I move on to this cups card, I'm going to use the word appreciate for this. And then the 7 of cups, I'm going to use the word curious, right? So maybe I can appreciate and embrace some curiosity, right? And then what will happen with that, let's see what this lovers card is. I'm going to use the word choice. So if I embrace or if I appreciate a new sense of maybe curiosity, it's going to provide me with additional choices, right? Or it'll provide different ways of thinking about something, or a different choice that I can go regarding this issue or situation. Also, the 7 of cups can sometimes be that card of, different options and different choices. So it's interesting that actually both of these cards kind of came up in the same reading. So so maybe what will happen today is I will have a, sort of conversation with somebody, or something will come up and it will remind me to appreciate and be curious, and I can see a different way of seeing things, and that will give me a different choice, a different way of actually being able to do something, which I think is really interesting. And this is a little bit about how we can use the keyword cards that are included with the deck in order to formulate a sentence and provide a reading. And again, you don't have to use these keywords at all. These are just the keywords that I've chosen for the cards, and I hope that you find them helpful. Maybe they can provide a different way for you to read the card that you hadn't thought of before, or maybe it can just provide additional insight if you get stuck on something, or you don't know, these cards came up and you don't know how to interpret them together, they make no sense to you. You can easily just go to these keyword cards and they can provide you with a jump off point to sort of formulate a sentence or a reading that is clear and concise and it makes sense. And also, as I said before in the first video, none of the keywords are repeated. So you won't find the same word for multiple cards, because I just sort of find that confusing, and it's harder to create sort of like a fluid thought or a fluid reading when you have multiple words come up or the same word come up for multiple cards. Another thing that I think is kind of cool with the keyword cards is that you can actually use these keyword cards for different decks. If you really like the keywords that I've chosen, you can, if you have the Pensive Path deck, you can take the keyword cards out and use them as a guideline for any other deck you might have. That is an idea that I thought of too, because they are sort of universal keywords and they are based on the traditional Rider-Waite system. Some of the keywords are a little bit more geared toward the Pensive Path. However, they are pretty broad and general in that you can pretty much use them with any deck. So there are a lot of options here, and I hope that you like this little keyword intro video, and I hope that you find the keywords helpful. And I think that now I think we're actually going to start going on to the individual cards, unless I think of something else that I need to add at the beginning, which I can totally do because it's my YouTube channel and I'm a grown-up and I can do whatever I want, which is great. So, okay, bye.